Good evening, everyone. System Chalk here with the 59th episode, I'm pretty sure, episode of the Librarian run, playing as Ivan Vucetich in the Detective Legacy. And, incidentally, if your name is Stella and you are watching, hello. Apologies to the majority of you where that won't be relevant, or perhaps your name is coincidentally Stella and you are watching, in which case, special hello to you, and I'm sorry you got caught in the crossfire. In any case, we have been working through the Lone and Level Sands. We are going through the Star-Shattered Fane, and we will be going up against the Warded Door, Hidden Door first, I expect. In that case, we will bring in Enid to take care of the challenge, but I did want to bring my Winter Followers in to deal with the Fifth Eye Curse. We have got a Season of Visions coming up, so nothing too much to worry about there. We're also pursuing an investigation, just because the inspector's position was about to expire. Excuse me. But overall, we are just slouching towards Masana, if you will. But the big one here, too, is when we finish Masana, it also means that the value of Azim sort of shrinks a little bit. Just having such a large amount of Grail means that I don't need to add people to deal with the desert. I mean, we've already got the Callagine. We could use that with the Forge, but you know, it's still another person that I'm adding, which isn't necessarily relevant to the overall expedition. So, in this case, it's just the most efficient use of the summons that I have. So we'll carry on. There's not a whole lot for us to discuss, and I'm fairly clear in terms of what the next few steps are. The next big milestone for me really is this inventory of the works, and I need to try and time that so it happens at the end of the half hour for an episode, just because I don't think there's any value in me sort of sitting down with a spreadsheet that people can't see, muttering to myself as I go through it. Or maybe I should just adopt an appropriate tone of voice and call it an ASMR video or something. Alright, there must be a door here, but without lantern or knock, we can't uncover it. We call upon the beach crow who sees what is lost. We bear a great power of opening. We'll almost certainly find this hidden door. And we've got a Season of Suspicion coming up, so we may wind up affected by this. We don't have Mystique on the table, but we are getting close to finishing the expedition. I always have the option of talking with the weary detective, but I usually don't like that option because it just means that I add more notoriety. One notoriety that gets transformed into tentative evidence is a very easy target for me to destroy. Notoriety is a little bit slipperier just because it means that I have to tie up the talk verb for 2 minutes. The talk verb can be used for other things, and I'm going to be doing actions which generate more notoriety, and so that tends to pile up very quickly. Alright, the investigation has turned up no new leads. Faint lines in stone, a surface that yields to pressure. We found it. The hidden door moves with a grating shutter and a shower of dust. I think I'm gonna need... No, actually we have enough funds for the expedition. And as is always the case with the curses, if we fail the curse, we move forward, so there's basically no way that we can fail now. Alright, Season of Ambition, so I want to be kind of careful on the timing, but we should be able to manage it. Basically, I want to put the troublemaker... I want to do an investigation of the troublemaker. Alright, no, we'll be fine. 30 seconds for searching for clues. There's no way that we're going to generate it in time. So yeah, what I basically want to do is make sure that the troublemaker is away in the investigation while the timer's running by, so... Alright, we call upon the Elegist from whom nothing more can be taken. The Elegist knows what is already lost. His power will almost certainly protect us. Now, there's been a couple of times where I've let the work timer run out on me, so I want to be a bit more careful here. Hunters found notoriety, they will use it to try and create or upgrade evidence. If they are meticulous, they'll always succeed. If they're erratic, they're more likely to fail, but they can occasionally create evidence even without notoriety. So usually reading is the thing that winds up sinking me with timers, so we'll lock in the troublemaker. I don't see any situation where the Season of Ambition does anything but pick up my sealed file. Our power is stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. So in reality, I just kind of need 10 more seconds. I think in this case, the prudent thing to do is basically maybe at the 40-second mark in the day before a Season of Ambitions should be where that basically should be how I handle troublemakers. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and they found no new clues. So the next thing I want to do here is bring in Leo, because we are going to generate a notoriety, and this is an easy way for me to pick it up, especially because we have a Season of Suspicion coming up. So I suspect we can't avoid this. I am disciplined. I am all discipline. I haven't lasted this long to give up so easily. Yeah, I think the timing is just a little bit off from what we need to avoid the Season of Ambition, or Season of Suspicion. We'll find out, though. Okay, so that's 30 seconds. We need 30 seconds without the reputation, so... Alright, progress. The constant clatter of closing doors, the damp stains on the station walls, the smell of boot polish and unwashed constables. All this narrows to a single crystalline truth. I've made progress and earned myself some overtime pay. I suppose the one nice thing is that we've got 24 seconds before the expedition's done, so Leo's also going to be trying to grab reputation. The meteorite lies in the shattered temple, ridged like a sea creature, smoothed by its passage through the atmosphere. The old altar must have been crushed centuries ago, but the meteorite responds to our touch. It hums like wires in wind, its surface shifts, and it opens like an eye. Temptation is past for now. So basically, I think it's going to be a competition of magnets. Alright, so the weary detective got to it before Leo did. What has passed? The meteorite is cold and closed and silent. The sand of centuries lies untouched upon it. But here in our hands are the treasures we found within. Medusa's lament on the death of the hour called Seven Coils, the father of the mother. The focus of amber, the penance work of Omar the Blaze. I have another wildering mirror, a multiplicity of vistas, a bewilderment of views. Gaze upon me and rejoice in the dissolution of your senses. The manner in which the alchemist was spared, a quasi-alchemical text in Vac. And of course, our followers. So, we go to Masana. A quietly prosperous village rests in the crook of the river, a surprising splash of green against the dusty land behind. The longevity of the villagers surpasses the natural. What are they hiding? Masana, where the villagers routinely remain hale and vigorous past their 100th year. They will resist attempts to pry into their secrets and may have curses at their disposal, if we can even penetrate the desert to reach them. So, I keep forgetting how curse-happy the loaded level sands are. Now, all's not lost with the investigation. Obviously, there's the chance that it doesn't generate an evidence, although we'd certainly be very lucky to have two investigations fall apart that way. Plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I can add funds now, or I can send another follower. So, Creeping Breath Curse, which requires Heart or Grail. We're already powerful in Grail, so in fact, all of these just need Grail. So just add extra funds and call it a day. We get a free turn next turn, so I mean I can kind of do the inspector's position whenever, but as is standard, I'll I'll let it run to the end. I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their superior, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. I think I'm going to make an effort to destroy this evidence right away. And you know what? Just for simplicity, I'll... Here. So, Sylvia... Yeah, Sylvia's not in danger of dying yet. The scheme will most likely succeed. There is always a chance that something will go awry. It's actually slightly more beneficial for me to have the Callagine sort of running around. It helps me get places with Raven Isle, and that's not true for Moths. We call upon the Sister and Witch who are Pearl. The Sister and Witch should see us safe through the dry places. I don't need to add another funds, but I will. The sun is setting. We look back across the desolation we crossed, and at the colors it assumes in the evening light. Night falls, stars prickle, the wind presses cold hands to our faces. Onwards. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. Got a season of despair coming up, and progress. The constant clatter of closing doors, the damp stains on the station walls, the smell of boot polish and unwashed constables. All this narrows to a single crystalline truth. I have made progress and earned myself some overtime. A minion is returned, the evidence has been destroyed. I am a little safer. Right. Again, we don't exactly need this much money, but it helps me if I run into a problem. I don't exactly like going on autopilot on these sorts of things, but this is with Azim present, it is the easiest possible expedition I could be going on. Although again, because I'm not really doing anything, I can afford to keep an eye on the expedition. Against the Watchers, the Grail Seductions. Come closer, dear ones. We have something special for you. Okay, season of sickness. Go for a walk, fresh air and exercise. Long walks kill cobwebs. And I'll give this some time just to work its way down. We're still above 200 in terms of funds, so... The Watchers' victory. They are more cunning and more numerous than we'd expected. This will end in blood for us, so we may wind up adding a moth follower after all. If we lose the Callagine, then Azim takes over. If we lose Azim, then we need a moth follower to supplement the Callagine. And then we need to worry about the Creeping Breath Curse. So it was Azim that fell. So what we do here... I don't have... So it's also important to remember here that I don't have Grail as an option. So this actually really hurt me. I'm going to start by adding Sylvia. The clouds part. The wolf despair prowls elsewhere. We've got Fascination coming up. Alright. It is banished or destroyed. So we add Sylvia, and then we add Heart Followers to deal with the Creeping Breath Curse. I've neglected my studies, but I stand a little straighter. And in this case, I'll actually add Clovette and Dorothy right away. We have Leo as a backup, so... Look closer, closer still, closer. Keep looking, closer. Now close your eyes. My investigation has turned up no new leads. We'll give that some time. Unless we see something that happens in the timer, but I think we'll be fine. The Watchers' confusion, their bewilderment is our opportunity. We will pass in silent secrecy. Season of suspicion coming up, so I'm not that worried about it, given that we were able to deal with the evidence the last time, and of course we'll have Leo to to help as well. So we know that we're going to get the treasures of Masana. The question is whether or not we bring something extra home with us. All right. It's a little inconvenient that we lost Azim, but Raven Isle doesn't really benefit from Azim in the same way that... Well, okay, I think there's one thing that Azim might be able to help with. We call upon the Ringyu who is renewed. We are almost certainly strong enough in heart to be secure against the curse. And... another season of suspicion. So I actually think we're safe for now, but I think it's the same story. We're going to get caught by the... we're going to get caught by the investigation after. The sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. Not everyone is sympathetic to our aims, but if we have problems with our reputation, our disciple can probably smooth them over. The curse clings. There is a price to be paid when one trespasses in a place like this. Someday soon, the curse will tighten around us. So I think that's going to have fascination. Yeah, I think I get decrepitude off of that one, so I will have to pay in the form of fascination when the time comes. Dormant creeping breath curse. The creeping breath curse has not yet come due. Progress. The constant clatter of closing doors, the damp stains on the station walls, the smell of boot polish and unwashed constables. All this narrows to a single crystalline truth. I have made progress and earned myself some overtime pay. It's a little rougher for the next turn. We don't have dread to worry about, and actually we don't have an investigation to worry about either, so... which is good, because I think... well, Leo might be able to deal with it. A long feast. Beneath the granary, we find the deepest secret of Masana, an altar on which are displayed segments of an embalmed human body. Little of it still remains. The visitors must have been feasting on this for years. Is it long flesh? That might account for their longevity. So there's something of an argument for going to the spider's door here, but I just, in this case, I don't really feel like I really don't feel like this is worth the hassle. I think I'm just going to get hit by the curse and take what happens. Items of note are displayed along the walls. They might be trophies from unwise travelers, or they might have been possessions of the Long. There is no indication whether the Long was a willing victim or an ancestor or a prisoner, and we'll learn nothing from the villagers now. The Greek inscription on the altar reads, "For the Flood." So we've got the Kingspin Baran. In the deep forests, the monarch gave up the last thing they had to give, and so the tool was shaped to keep their land forever safe. Then, of course, an empire stole it, as empires do. The Songs of the Carapace Cross, Mike Aziz's often destroyed work. The Sevenfold Slaying of the Seven Coiled, an account of the destruction of a primeval hour, a god who was stone. And of course, my followers. Alright, so we have 10 minutes in this episode. I think Raven Isle is within our reach. So, let's go for it. An extinct volcano lifts its head from a fervid tangle of emerald jungle. Immortals fall into the vilest crime of their kind, are exiled here to roost, guzzling the blood and cracking the bones of unwary travelers. They must have acquired some interesting toys over the years. Just the sort of place where you want to go on holiday. The chiefest peril of Raven Isle is the, I still don't know how to pronounce this, Sukoyants. Sukoyans? It's the fallen immortals. The way there across the street will be hard, and the isle is full of voices which carry the curse of visions. So many curses. All right, let's add a forge follower first. Too many words that I should probably by this point know the pronunciations for, but... Alright, the expedition continues. Our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I could add funds now, or I could send another follower. So, for this we've got the Western Sea. We have the Fifth Eye Curse, Heart and Winter. The Sukoyants, one might mistake them for old women until they discard their skins. The place is a swarm with them. They are as strong as strangling roots and at least half long, but they can be deceived and are very wary of light. So in this case, Moth Follower makes sense here, and then we just add the heart for the Fifth Eye Curse, or Winter for that matter, but I guess it doesn't really matter what the order is. I think I'll just add a start for each of these. So we'll bring in Clovettes. Actually, if I'd been thinking, yeah, Heart would have been helpful both for the Western Sea as well as the Curse. Yeah, we'll make it work. The Ionic Essence may help in recovering my health. I don't know. I'll think about it. Yep. Creeping Breath Curse. The Creeping Breath Curse begins with a cough that loiters in one's throat like a debt collector. And we've got a Season of Ambitions coming up, so I want to be careful about when I mess around with the... I might as well. I want to be careful about when I mess around with the Troublemaker. Alright, let's add another Heart Follower. We call upon the Sister and Witch, who cannot be touched. Storms rise for the Thunderskin and subside for the Sister. The right words should carry us safe across the sea. Now, I am going to need to add money at some point, but I want to make sure that I've got my heart people in. Safe across the sea. Wave lashed and sea spattered, sun scorched and salt stained, but here. So the next one will be funds, and then we'll add a Moth Follower to deal with the Guardians. Alright, a last chance. The curse has taken hold. The life pulse slows. The curse is no ordinary sickness, but with enough heart influence, it will be possible to turn it aside. So, had we gone... Oh my god. I completely forgot about the Troublemaker, but it doesn't matter, because even if they take Karashim, we're good. I am, however, going to get Eldridge to make a nice snare for us. So yeah, we could have tried our chances with the Spider's Door, but again, what does that really get me? So clear my mind. The sun still moves, the wind still walks. My journals are the labyrinth. And we have a murderous scheme. This will be exciting. We should try and go after Douglas ourselves. Show the rival who's boss. We call upon the power of Moth, who beats the skull. We should have enough power to deceive and dismay these night-winged thirsty ones. I'll add the funds now because we're really at the point here of just worrying about the curse. Now we've got a minute for the murderer to do their scheme, so I'm going to use the tentative evidence to investigate the Troublemaker. But again, we want to run out the clock on that if we can. Each breath we take in this life is weaker than the last until we come to the final breath of all. The process is so slow as to be imperceptible until one is touched by the creeping breath curse. Decrepitude. Some wounds never quite heal. Untreated injuries and hunger become decrepitude, which does not return to health. Decrepitude remains until you die. Okay, so clearly we'll try and do something with the Rite of the Crow's Quenching. I keep forgetting the combination. I thought it was Forge and Heart, but it might actually be Forge and Grail. But it'd be weird not to have some kind of a Forge component. Alright, another season of ambitions coming up, so I probably want to make sure that I kind of want to make sure I deal with the Troublemaker properly next time. An adequate snare. Rivals are cautious. They don't prowl the streets like hunters. To defeat one, we must prepare a trap and await our opportunity. The Sequoians hungers. They're on us with leathery crack of wings, and a body is borne shrieking up into the dark. If it's the Callagine, I'll be happy. Alright, my followers prepared a stratagem which, with considerable luck, might defeat a rival's plans. A rival intends to end a hunter. This may be to my advantage, but it may also draw attention. I think we'll get Leo working on the reputation. Investigations turned up no new leads. So with 44 seconds, I think we're gonna pick up the sealed bureau file no matter what. And another season of ambitions. Although I think this one will overshadow the existing one, so we should be fine. Ascend to the pages. What hungers drive me? Although perhaps with the time I have available, I should be messing around with rituals. Okay, so let's try the Iotic Essence, because we've got so much of that already. Forge is the aspect that transforms and destroys. If I add Knock, I might be able to attempt a summoning. If I have grown decrepit, then I can add Grail, and perhaps I could renew my body. Is the Cinnabar Amulet that's got Gray... Whispering Amulet. Okay. Obviously I have other options, but... Oh, hang on. So much easier. Okay, let's take our... There we go. Major. Could improve Forge to 15. I don't think I have any Forge influence. Fleeting Reminiscence shouldn't have Forge. Let's go with what we've got here. The Forge destroys and renews. I will invoke it with Grail to renew my failing flesh with forbidden magics. Let's keep adding money. We call upon... They're onto us with a leathery crack of wings, and a body is borne shrieking up into the dark. Oh, hang on. I forgot to add a moth follower, like a... That's where we're having so much trouble. Someone failed to murder a hunter. This may ultimately bring the Suppression Bureau to my door. Sylvia, whip these people into shape, please. God, I don't deserve whatever victory I get. I'm going to take a bit longer on today's run, just because if we do finish Raven Isle, obviously that lets me do my inventory. Clearly it's not the end of the playthrough, but I will definitely change my behavior. Okay, Season of Visions. Yeah. That couldn't have come at a worse time. Alright, I have been renewed with flame tempered with blood. My flesh is strong again, but the forge's radiance has dazzled my soul, and people will talk. So decrepitude has been transformed back to health, but you've gained fascination and notoriety. And on top of that, oh man, we've got we've got quite a bit of notoriety now. So let's deal with this one at a time. So we've got new colors. I've begun to notice colors in the world for which I have no name. So let's take this fascination and combine it with a fleeting reminiscence. That way we at least just have the one fascination to deal with. Next step is to get Leo working on the reputation again. And finally we work on the troublemaker. We might even spam it just so that we can get the dread from completing the case. The temptation is past for now. We call upon Moth, who seeks among the trees of the wood. The Moth, it has power in this close crowded forest night. We will pass secretly and safely unless we are very unlucky. I'm seeing things I shouldn't. I know this is dangerous, but it's difficult not to long for it. The Sequoians hungers. They're onto us with a leathery crack of wings, and a body is born shrieking up into the dark. And we have a Season of Despair, so I can't afford to generate any dread. However, when the Season of Despair leaves, the fleeting reminiscence will be able to take out the Season of Visions. My investigations turned up no new leads. So the original motive for spamming the inspector's position would have been to generate dread. We don't want to do that anymore, so we'll just cool it. Remember, we still have the curse to get by. Alright, we did lose someone off of that. The Callagine, Jesus. Banished or destroyed. So I am going to want to summon that again. We've got a little bit of time left on the inspector's position, so let's offer up. It's a winter and forge business. I don't think the winter's going to be enough here, though, if I had the great on oil. Significant power of forge. Yeah, so the rising heat doesn't really help. Okay. Either way, it's not something we can deal with right now. So, Moth-wise, we've got Yzabet and we've got Porter. Porter can potentially die, so we add Yzabet. And again, I mean, this is a throw everything in it, because this should be the last expedition. So. Optimism is the spice which saves. We're gonna throw Leo at it again. I'll mind my manners for a minute on Dread, and we should be fine. Okay, Season of Sickness coming up, so we will go for a stroll. Call upon the Moth, who seeks among the trees of the wood. The Moth has power in the close crowded forest night. We will pass secretly and safely unless we're very unlucky. The Sequoians' frustrations. You and me both, sister. Hurry from the shadows to deeper shadow. Press faces into the spongy earth. They know we're here, but they don't know where. Their cries fade behind us. Lots going on there. Season of Ardors, so we got a contentment coming up. We've got the sickness on its way, but we can hit it with a vitality. And Season of Ardors gives me contentment. So we may wind up with the Fifth Eye Curse. That would kill my passion. But we can survive that. In the absolute worst case, I don't believe we will need 4 passion for anything. The investigation has turned up no new leads. So, again, apologies for the extra time, but we're about to say goodbye to Raven Isle. We are strong enough in heart to be almost entirely secure against the curse. This has damaged my health. I will need to rest before I'm fully recovered. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane if that means anything. And Season of Ambition's coming up, so we'll give this a little time just so that I can take up the Troublemaker. But again, as long as Raven Isle was the last location we needed. Essentially, they can take Karashim, and I'm not that worried about it. Still, Troublemaker causes trouble, so we'll properly lock them away in an investigation when we need. So, the curse shrivels. Our power is stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. Treasures lie before us. So I think we'll equip Leo for the job. We'll give this a few more seconds to work down the inspector's position. And then, of course, we'll need to use the reason for the upcoming file temptation, but that's a separate issue. Raven Feathers, a mountain cave befouled by the sequoiants. On the walls they have scrawled their sad histories in 100 languages, in script of striking elegance. The creatures they were, the histories they owned, the children they mourn. The sick room grows close and stale, time to get up. Discipline, I am all discipline. I haven't lasted this long to give up so easily. And there it is. At the back of the cave, the sequoiants have made a sort of museum nest. The fine clothes they wore once, adorned now with raven feathers. A little miscellany of cameo portraits and rotting family albums. A few items of power. 5 creations. The itinerant scholar Shohai debated 5 possible origins for humanity with a hooded figure since claimed to be the beach crow. Shohai later claimed that all these accounts had proven false, but the debate was nevertheless recorded. The Chalice Murmurous. On those nights when we drink from the chalice, we are not certain afterwards what we have done, but we may be assured it is what has always been done. And if we do not remember, our children will in their redmost dreams. We have a manual for departure. The author, who identifies himself as Jekadu, claims to be one of the great hooded princes of the land of the river. The Origins of Hours, a vac work that may contain gossip about the various origins of the secret gods. And of course, all of our loyal followers. So we'll give this a couple seconds to pick up the notoriety. But this should be a big milestone for us. So I know it was 10 minutes extra for the broadcast today, but assuming that I did it properly, we have achieved our goal of 1 of every text in the game. So I will obviously spend some time organizing this better. There's like a lot of empty real estate up here. The library is very big. I feel the library should sort of be the centerpiece of this whole board. And I think what I might do, because there's going to be other things for me to accomplish, but I don't know. I might solicit some feedback as to whether or not people want me to do the organization during the broadcast or not. But that's something for another time anyway. But we're obviously not done with the run. So I have a verification to do. I will spend a little bit of time talking about what I'm specifically going to do to make sure that I've got all the books that I want. But then there's also the question in terms of how we finish this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a look in the JSON files in the game directory. I believe there's a tomes file, so that should give me a list of all of the tomes available. It's possible that there is a like there are sample files, and then I believe it will include the translated and untranslated version. So there's a bit of work that I need to do in terms of mapping that directly to a an actual list that I'll find useful, but that seems to be one way to go. The next for me will be maybe cross-referencing that with the wiki. The problem is because the wiki's community maintained, there's no assurance. Like, you can technically write anything in a wiki, and you're just assuming that someone in the community, if it's wrong, has corrected it. So, you know, you want to be a little careful in terms of relying on that sort of a thing. But I figure between the tomes file, the file that I've already, like the Excel file that I've made already, and the wiki, if there's contradictions between them, hopefully I'll be able to sort of sort that out. And then, of course, the last question for myself is this. So the goal, let's assume that all of that turns out. The goal is to say that I finish the game with all of these tomes on the desktop. Now, it's not Exile. I don't need to worry about losing possession. So unless I wind up reading one of these tomes, I'll be fine there. But it is worth mentioning that, like, I still have to finish the run, and there is an open question in terms of how I do that. You know, do I perish to starvation? Do I get imprisoned? Do I, there's I don't have unlimited options, but I do need to figure out how I want to end this and maybe see what a satisfying ending would be. And then, at that point, I'm going to take it as given that we have all of the tomes, but we still have a bit of work ahead of us here. But today is sort of a big milestone, just in the sense that, barring a sudden revelation from this investigation that I'm doing, I think we should be in a good spot as far as the overall goal for the run is concerned. And I'm happy that I got this achieved before Book of Hours came out. Maybe only a month before Book of Hours came out, but we still got it. So anyways, thank you everybody for watching. It's now like 15 minutes too late. There will be, I believe, one more episode for this week, but we'll get through it. I'm gonna spend some time between episodes, so I'll probably be very forgetful for the next one. Until the next time, thank you very much for watching, and take care.